and welcome to Community Connections. I'm Marnie Yule, your host, and glad you're joining us as we start out this month of October. And we started off just right. I don't know about the rest of you, but I'm a big holiday decorator. So the minute October 1st comes, I've got my pumpkins out, and we've got this little special one joining us here today to remind us that lots of great things are happening throughout the communities through the month of October. We'll be talking about a lot of them here, but also keep an eye out, on your social media. So many things are happening. A lot of them are happening virtually, a lot of them happening in person and distanced, and it's a really crazy time. But let's have a lot of fun with this and remember Halloween. It's just fun for the kiddos and a little bit of trick-or-treating. So my first guest, speaking of virtually, is Barb Moss. She's the Fund Development Specialist and Volunteer Coordinator for Casa for Kids Foundation. Hi, Barb. How are you?
Doing well. I'm excited to be here. Thanks for having me.
It's good to have you.
Thanks.
Let's kick it off, since I already opened the show talking about Halloween and things going on. Let's talk about Casa for Kids and the costume run you have.
Yes. So on October 25th, we are hosting our 6th annual Costume for Kids 5K Fun Run. It'll start at 8 a.m. and wrap up around 1 p.m. It is a virtual event this year, but instead of having just kind of you sign up, you run your race, you submit your time, and you get a medal, it was really important to us to keep it a community event. So we'll be having a virtual kickoff, we're going to have a costume contest, we'll have a closing ceremony, and it's going to be a lot of fun. So if you're kind of worried about that virtual component, we're still really integrating the community in this.
Okay. Educate me on a virtual run, because I'm only picturing my mind going outside on the sidewalk and running. Do I actually have to do that? Or do I video myself doing it? Or how does that work?
Well, we encourage everybody to take photos of their costumes and their routes and their views. Of course, beautiful Prescott, but all over it's virtual, so anybody can do it. You don't have to video yourself or anything, but what you're going to do is we're going to have the virtual kickoff via Zoom, and then you just go out. You can go out to Watson, or you can go out in your backyard. You can go all the way down to Phoenix if it's not 100,000 degrees.
I'll go out to Mountain Valley Park. That's my favorite place to walk.
Perfect.
So that's a beautiful, very easily maintained, walkway out there. Okay.
So you do that. You send us photos. You submit your time this year. For the first time, we'll actually have a timed event. So
you really mean we got to run?
No.
I was thinking virtual. Maybe I wasn't going to have to run.
Completely up to you. If you want to run, walk. We have group signups as well. You can do it with your family, friends, however you want to and however you feel safest.
Well, this sounds like fun. When is it?
It's October 25th. It's on a Sunday.
Mm-hmm. And how do you register for this and get all the particulars on entering and participating?
Of course. So registration can be found on our website, YavaPaiCasaForKids.org, under the 5K tab. We also post very regularly on our Facebook page and our Instagram pages. So you really can find it anywhere. Posters are up all around Prescott Valley, in the Quad City areas. And then if you're really having trouble finding it, feel free to call us at 928-445-0800, and we can point you in the right direction.
So the event starts off at 8 with the kickoff party, and then the race starts at 9. So it's kind of like, okay, we do this thing and then go out and run or walk or whatever you're doing. Now, but it is costumes, because I know your traditional event prior to 2020 was Costumes for Kids 5K Fun Run. When they throw that fun, it means you don't have to run. You could just walk. And you can bring your dogs and stuff. So kids are all decorated, and they go around it used to be around the courthouse, right? The courthouse square, and everybody's dressed up in costumes. So this time, don't go all down to the courthouse square, but dress up in costumes and go take a nice walk in any of our trails and parks and things like that. Or, if you're a competitor, healthy and in shape,
I will not be competing.
But it's fun. It's fun to do that and support Casa for Kids Foundation. What do the proceeds go to, Barb?
Our proceeds for this event go directly towards meeting our mission of meeting the unmet needs of foster youth here in Yavapai County. So it's a really fun event. It's also a really great cause. So we're really excited about it.
Right. And when you say unmet needs, what are you referring to on that?
So we run 7 different programs here at the foundation. They range from a Christmas drive to clothing initiatives, both emergency and supplemental. We have Keys to Success, which is kind of a program meant for the youth aging out of the foster care system. We do, now of course I'm drawing a blank. We do so much just to help if you were in a stable environment, more stable environment, you'd probably just go to your parents and ask them or somebody that you
Right.
trust within your family. But a lot of times that's not there for these youth.
Right. And there is some funding for foster parents, but it doesn't always include everything. So that's an additional resources for them, for the kids, through the foundation.
Of course.
So,
Yes.
and you have volunteer opportunities.
We do, yeah. So right now it's a little funky, a little different than usual.
I like the way she used that. Yeah, she's right. It's a little funky.
A little different, but if you're interested, reach out to me at the foundation. We have things like you can write blogs, you can do graphic design, our events when they go back in person, hopefully you can attend those and help us with those. If you're interested in volunteering, we will find something for you.
And let's go back to the Costumes for Kids 5K Fun Run. How much does it cost to register for this?
So it's on a graduated scale depending on your age. So all youth 16 and under are completely free. All kinship and foster families are completely free. If you are a kinship or foster family, just send me an email and I'll get you that registration code. And then youth 17 to 23 are $15, and then 24 and up is $20. And that includes your t-shirt and the ability to win prizes if you win the costume contest or any of the timed races.
That's great. I'd love to see. I bet participate. Now, you always walk on Sundays, so this
Yeah.
would be a great way to participate in it, support you, and also have some fun.
Yeah, exactly.
Looking at things a little bit differently. Now I just have to find a costume.
Yeah, we super encourage the costumes. We have the costume contest. It's for all ages, not just kids. And that can be submitted ahead of time to me at my
Okay.
email address, or I can get you the times, but during the day via Zoom, we'll also have a virtual contest.
So you'll be like, it's a Zoom fashion show.
Yes,
Costume fashion
exactly.
show. So you'll be given the link, once you register, you'll be given the link to go back in and, because this is a whole new thing. Everybody knows Zoom now. So you'll be able to that link and then you can go in and sign in and then you can see everybody.
Yes.
So it's like being in this whole room full of folks.
Yeah, exactly. Again, just that community component was really important to us.
And then you said t-shirts for everyone that registers and
Yes.
medals? Or that's if you run fast?
That's if you run fast.
How many of you just finished?
Yeah, right. T-shirts for everybody. You'll even get, your running bib as well if you're really into that. And then prizes for, like I said, placed winners and costume contest winners.
Well, Barb, coming up with a great idea to keep going, raising funds for Casa for Kids Foundation. Brilliant idea. Again, this is Sunday, October 25th. Your email, real quick.
Barb, B-A-R-B, at Yavapai Casa, C-A-S-A, for F-O-R, kids.org.
Great. Thank
So
you for
long.
joining us. Yes. All right, short break. We'll be right back.
It appears these hot ashes are about to be dumped, which could possibly start a wildfire. How will Smokey deal with such a hot situation? The garden hose defense. Next, a thorough stir. Then another spray. And finally, feeling if the ashes are cool. Ah yes, the selfie. A ritual practiced so frequently with this tribe, but not so much by Smokey Bear.
Only you can prevent wildfires.
Learning is about more than just letters and numbers. Social and Emotional Learning, or SEL, teaches kids how to handle emotions, set goals, and make good decisions. Being able to understand the other's feelings helps grow relationship skills. Teaching children how to have healthy relationships provides a foundation for learning. Try this. Group children into pairs and have them sit back to back. Give one a picture from a book and have them describe it to the other, who will draw a picture based on what they hear. Discuss with kids that what they hear doesn't always match what someone is trying to say. This is important to remember when someone hurts our feelings. Parents, caregivers, and teachers can ensure that social and emotional learning is an important part of a child's overall health and well-being. To find out more, visit First Book at firstbook.org/SEL. First Book is a nonprofit organization providing all children with equal access to the books and resources they need to succeed.
And welcome back to Community Connections. My next guest is Abby Harvick. And we know in times of disasters and emergencies, we have emergency shelters for people and emergency shelters for small animals, dogs and cats and things like that. Well, Abby's here to talk about a program that they have where it's emergency shelters for large animals. Speaking on Laser, Abby Harvick, good to see you.
Oh, good to see you, Marnie. Thanks for
Welcome.
having us. Thank
Okay,
you. Good to
tell
be
us
here.
about Laser.
So LASER is Large Animal Shelters and Emergency Readiness. And as you said, there have been shelters for people and for household pets, but not for barn animals. And so LASER was formed as a 501c3 in 2019, early 2019. What we do is we'll set up shelters for those emergency evacuation periods so that people with barn animals, and it could be pigs, horses, mules, geese, goats, any barn animals
Right.
that people love and they need a place for during that time. So if they don't already have other arrangements on where to take those animals, now they have an option. So we set the shelters up. They are run 24/7 during the entire period of the evacuation, run entirely by trained volunteers, and so it's a safe destination. So it's a new service. There's no cost to the public, although there are
Wow.
costs associated with setting them up and running them, but they are provided, the service is provided at no cost to the public.
Well, in times of emergency, that's probably the last thing you're thinking of is where I'm going to, board. And how many times do we hear that we had no place to take and we had to turn them out?
That's right.
And that could be the worst thing to do.
That is
So
absolutely right.
having a shelter for the large animals, which it takes a little bit more wherewithal to house and shelter large barn animals.
It does.
Let's say your horses and your cattle, things like that.
Yep.
So do you currently have a shelter now or? Okay.
Yeah, we do. So
Let's talk about that.
Perfect.
Right
Let's
now, what do we do?
Let's
And then-
do that. So we have shelters. Our goal is to have shelters in various locations because fires can occur in different locations. We want shelters away from wherever the fire is. So we've got great partnerships in the community. So in Prescott, we partner with the rodeo grounds, and we can use them as a shelter location.
Excellent.
In Prescott Valley, we've been using the fairgrounds,
Mm-hmm.
the county fairgrounds, and so we do that through the county. And then we are in the process, so I'm glad you asked because that's perfect timing. We're setting up a third site in Chino Valley.
So
with-
there's not one currently there?
the Chino Valley, currently, we have the use of the Yavapai Humane Society as an overflow location, but there's no primary location yet. So that was our plan, was to build a shelter site this year. We've just launched our campaign to Let's Build a Shelter, and it will be at the Chino Valley Equestrian Park. And the goal there is to set at least 80 stalls there for larger barn animals and smaller barn animals, so that we have that as a site in Chino Valley. And then in future years, we do strategic planning, so in future years, we'll look to expand in other locations
Right.
within Yavapai County. But having those three primary locations will give us very, very good options.
And great access for no matter where you are in the county.
That's
I
right.
think you need out in Dewey Humboldt's next, out that far, east side.
We're
That
planning-
might be a good idea.
Yes, and
But
so that's in the plans.
So back to the shelter. So you're in the stages right now of building it.
We are.
Is it a fundraising program that you have going on?
It is, and
Okay.
so it's a Let's Build a Shelter campaign. We've also applied for and received some grants, so we got started. We've had people in the community who have been kind enough to give us some used panels. So if any of your listeners have used panels for us, as long as they're in good shape, that will cut the cost of building a shelter with new material. And then we're working with American Fence Company for the materials that we're going to be putting in there as well. So
So what is your wish list? Obviously, funding, money always goes a long way. But if, people might have something they're not using, maybe they had a ranch or you bought all brand new, whatever. What does your wish list look like?
panels is really our primary wish because that is the biggest piece to get the shelter set up. Lighting, that would be mobile lighting that we can be using at the shelter site since we do operate throughout the night as well. And so having those would be obviously our
Right.
primary. And of course, donations is great. And then on our wish list as well is volunteers. So our goal is to grow our volunteer base as well as to grow our shelter sites. So if people are interested in volunteering, again, it's all completely volunteer run. That's a wonderful way to help as well.
Well, what if somebody doesn't have any experience with handling barn animals? Let's say they're a city person, they moved out here. We have so many volunteer opportunities. People are looking for
Yes.
something to do when they move here. Do you have training programs, or what is there that they could be doing without that experience? 'Cause,
Right.
There's a little bit something to moving a horse.
No, that's exactly right. And so we do have something for everyone. We have different levels of volunteers. So we've got some parts where volunteers don't need to be handling animals, setting up the shelter site, working in some of our communication operations, doing traffic control, so we've got roles for them. We provide all the training, so we also then will train people how to operate within an occupied stall, for example, for cleaning and feeding, how to move the animals back and forth so that they are safe and the animals are safe. We've done over 600 hours of training since we formed last year for our volunteers. So we have a very fully fledged volunteer training program. And our program is modeled after an existing program that came from a neighboring state that has had 2 decades of a program like this where there are also a lot of wildfires. So then we've customized it for our area. So we know that the program itself is built on a very sound foundation.
Right. Well, there's no training needed in mucking stalls, you know, you just have to get in there with some boots and a shovel and
But make sure
and
you're
a
at the right
rake.
end, and make sure that you're staying at the right end of the horse.
You're right. Well, let's get that horse out of there.
Yeah,
first.
so that we definitely think about.
So how does somebody get involved with Laser?
So we have, as many nonprofits will have, we've got a website, which is a great source of information because we also worry about emergency readiness. So we provide information to the public on how to think about getting ready. Fire season right now is drawing down, but it's a great time to get ready and start to plan for next year. So our website is Laser, L-A-S-E-R, so laser-shelter at, oh, did that wrong, laser-shelter.org. And then we also have a Facebook page that is at Laser, Your Stable Solution. We have videos that we've put on YouTube as well to get ready for emergency. But that website is the best way to get information.
Right. It's always important, no matter, you know, what you have, small animals, people, large animals, to be prepared.
That's right.
You know, have those things in place that if you need to move quickly, you can move quickly.
That's right. And to do it beforehand so that when the emergency hits, you already have your plans in place.
Right.
And so we're that destination that will provide peace of mind. So we say that we're there for the animals, but also for the people who love them.
Absolutely. And do you have a transportation system in there? I know I'm getting a little bit further into this, but where if somebody needs help moving their animals, large animals.
So there are other organizations that have been forming in the area. So there is also Equine Emergency Evacuation. They are a transport service. That's a separate nonprofit. But for the destination, in terms of where to go, can count on Laser. We will be there and we'll be ready.
Okay, and they want to be ready in Chino Valley. So for more information, make a donation, see what they need. Your website one more time, Abby.
It is. I want to make sure I get this right since I think I botched it the first time. So laser-shelter, and Laser is L-A-S-E-R, laser-shelter.org, and that will give a source of all kinds of information that will be helpful.
Well, thank you so much. Look forward to working with you and sharing more about Laser. Abby Harvick. Thank you. A short break when we come back.
Thank you, Marnie.
You can achieve a lot using your imagination. I mean, I don't like to brag, but... Wait, who's that? And why is she all over these achievement awards? But with STEM, the sky's the limit. Shaboom! Use STEM to envision... Okay, I'm seeing it. Yeah. Invent...
Got any ideas?
I've got a few, actually. And create a better world.
Told you she's super smart.
If she can STEM, so can you. Find out more at She Can STEM.
Welcome back to Community Connections. I'm so excited for my next guest, Eric Edelman from the planetarium at the Jim and Linda Lee Planetarium and Embry-Riddle University, Aeronautical University. I'm so excited because it's been a crazy, crazy, crazy time. I haven't talked to him in a while, but one of the things, motion and space are still out there. And even though we're so focused on every little thing that's happening right in our little world, that space is still there. And Eric, you guys are doing programs now, doing more virtually since we're not meeting in groups. But hey, really exciting though is we've been able to see Venus, Mars, and Saturn all together
And
for the past few days or week. How long has it been? I mean, I've watched it a couple nights.
oh yeah, and Jupiter's joined the team too. So one of the great things that is wonderful about the planets right now is if you are somebody who goes to sleep early, you have a bunch just right out for you before you go to bed. You got Jupiter and Saturn, they're already up. Mars is climbing its way there. But also if you're an insomniac, if maybe your work schedule's gotten a little wonky in this crazy world and you want to stay up till 3, 4 a.m., you got Venus that's getting there a little bit later on in the night. So you have a essential tour of the planets. There's entertainment coming up at each point. The sky is working its best to make sure you have something to see.
Right. If you have smartphones, now they have apps, and you don't even need to go outside either. It just goes right through your ceiling. My son showed me that. And they have apps, and you can kind of point it, and it'll tell you what planets or stars or things like that just brings it so close.
Oh yeah,
so close.
If you don't know what you're doing, there is tech that will help you. So there are different, if you point, it will tell you not only what constellation is there, but it'll show you which stars are a part of it, the planets, what's going on. There's different ones that'll tell you which meteor showers are coming up, when the phase of the moon is going to be. Astronomers have just so incredibly accurately mapped the sky and the transitions thereof that we know what's going on days, weeks, months, years in advance. You can book tickets to reserve a hotel for the next total solar eclipse coming up years from now. People know when all of those transitions are going on.
I'm just amazed. I'm just a total geek. I'm just a total space geek, but a lot of people know that anyway.
And that's what we love. That's what we encourage. And one of the things that we're trying to do these days is just give you the opportunity to revel in your inner space geek. One of the series that we have virtually is the Prescott Monthly Night Sky series. So what I do is I get on the computer, I show you with our special planetarium software, unfortunately in a rectangle as opposed to a giant planetarium dome, just what's going on that month. So what are the exciting things that are happening? What are the meteor showers? Where are the planets? Where can you look for them? What are the seasonal constellations? Like for example, we have Pegasus that is big and bright in the night sky right now, and you can actually use that constellation to test the healthiness of your night sky, to see how much light pollution you're dealing with. And here in Prescott, well, we don't have as much of that, and is a huge city like Phoenix. So it can be a good test to see, well, how lucky we are to be here in Prescott right now.
Right. Well, I was out at the Heritage Park Zoological Sanctuary for their Zoo by Moonlight this past, about a week ago. And that's when it's really dark, everything shut off, and could really see the sky. And I think we were looking at the animals, but looking at the sky at the same time, because everything was just so, you could see it all.
Right. Yeah.
So these programs that you have at the planetarium, is it open for people to come in?
So, if you like us, if you love us at the planetarium, please, we love you too, but don't come by. Don't come in person. So what we are doing right now is the Embry-Riddle campus is just functioning essentially as an academic environment for the students. We are trying to be as careful as possible in these interesting times to be as safe and healthy as possible, make sure there's no transmission happening on campus. And so the planetarium physically is not open to the public right now. Right. But what we are doing in exchange is we're doing some virtual programming, and our website has recently been updated for that, where you can see the upcoming shows that are there, and also a link to our YouTube channel, where even if you're not available to see a show that we're live streaming on the night of, you might be able to see it after the fact. That we're going to keep some of the shows up. One thing I'll say is that one show that will have a limited shelf life on our YouTube channel is the ones that are the Monthly Night Sky series, because I don't want people to be, hey, in January looking at our September Night Sky show and thinking about, oh, that's the information I need. No, it changes from month to month. So what I'm going to do is, we had our September Night Sky show that we did just a couple weeks back, and once we have our October Night Sky show, the other one's disappearing. So we're going to only have one Monthly Night Sky show up and available, so you always are getting the newest and the most up-to-date information.
The current sky.
Yeah, it changes. It does.
Right. So what besides that, what other programs do you have? I mean, I know you had the winter skies, and back when we could do things in person. Yeah. So you're still doing those programs?
Well, so we did those seasonal night sky, the winter night sky, spring, summer, and this monthly night sky is sort of an adaptation of that for our virtual programming. But we do have other things that we're doing. On Wednesday night of this week, we're actually going to be having an interview with a scientist who's going to be telling us all about sort of the behind the scenes of the telescope world. So we have these giant telescopes that are looking out into the universe and telling us incredible information about what exists in the cosmos. what's the human factor behind that? Are there strange stories of, things that could have gone wrong or things that went interestingly just because we have these mechanical marvels, but they are run by humans? And so what are sort of the human stories behind the telescopes? We're going to be having that on our YouTube channel starting this week, if you can't see it live.
Are you talking about the adventures of the telescopes, or the ones using them when they discover things in space?
So for a giant telescope like some of the stuff on Mauna Kea, the stuff that's looking out into the universe, the people that are running those telescopes are making sure that they're looking at the right thing, or the people that are requesting time on the telescopes that are going for what we call observing runs on those telescopes. They're scientists that they have something that they want to look into, and how they use the telescope to help them figure out the question that they have, or to help them support evidence
I
of
see.
some question.
Okay.
And so as they're doing that, sort of what are the human stories behind that data?
Right.
What goes on that sort of makes things just a little bit charming in a way in these mechanical sort of
Yeah, why are they
telescopes?
looking where they're looking, and what are they looking for?
Yeah,
What
and-
answers are they looking for?
So they're what are they looking for, and what sort of adventures do people get along the way as they're trying
right.
to observe these things?
That is so cool.
So yeah, that's coming up. We're trying to have a little bit of something for everyone. So we have the Night Sky series for people that just want to stargaze, they want to get into the sky. We have a science speaker series, which I just mentioned, which is for the folks that are really into the science, some of the stories behind how we do what we do. And then on the weekend, this weekend, October 10th, we're going to be having a show for children and their families, where we're going into the different planets. Hey, they're up in your night sky right now, but let's get up close and personal to them. See what is exciting. What are these huge valleys on different planets? What are these gas giants doing? And so sort of exploring
My
them for the
gosh.
kids.
And the pictures that are coming back from space now are just absolutely incredible. Eric, we're running out of
always.
time. Let's give the website for people to log in and get on these series.
Sure, absolutely. So it's a little bit of a mouthful, but it's prescott.eriu.edu/planetarium. PLANETARIUM.
Eric Edelman, thank you so much. We're out of time, but you can find that on Chamber's website at pvchamber.org. Thanks for joining us. Have a great 2 weeks.